Second. Oh my God! Here we go.
Hey,
got my mug today.
Excellent.
Nice. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
What's happening? Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
Episode number 159 of SlapperCast.
It's like 158 too many.
Yeah.
You seem kind of dark today, Patrick.
He's in the witness protection program now.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
With no blue dot, though. Anyway, what's on the docket today, my lads?
I have been thinking long and hard about what song to erase. If you missed last week, I was saying I think it should be a weekly thing where we which is quite easy, really. I mean, if you've ever heard a Poison song or a Kiss song, it's really easy to. But I just think that everybody should have weekly. We should just eliminate one song.
We need to do is make sure that whenever we eliminate a song, we keep a list. Then we can make a playlist on Spotify to share it with our enemies.
Yeah, play it in between the breaks.
There we go.
Why should we have the show? Yeah, so starting there, I'd like to eliminate Whiskey in the Jar.
The original traditional version, I take it.
Yeah,
just go back to the source.
It's like killing Hitler. It's just something that never happened.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a harsh one.
I know. Look at me. I'm dark.
Yeah.
With that dark edge about you today.
Yeah.
I would say Going to California by Led Zeppelin.
Oh. Why?
Put that on the list. I just thought of it, and it's just like when you listen to a classic rock station, it can pop up. It's not a very common Led Zeppelin song, but every now and then when you hear it on the radio, you're like, oh man, fuck this song.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Bohemian Rhapsody. I just don't want to hear classic rock stations because I don't want to hear that song again.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that song.
You must admire the complex, all the layers and everything that went into that song. We all know the history of it by now. However, I just don't want to fucking hear it again. I'm done.
And when it does come on, I try to listen for something that I haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in this song that I haven't heard yet?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. I think I've heard every part of that song, and I think I understand how it works, how it was constructed. I listened to like Roger singing the super, super high part before they go into the headbanging part, and I'm still not hearing anything really new. So there you go. Yeah. Chad, what do you got?
Ball and Chain. I like the way we play it, but
yeah, it would be nice if it never existed.
I'm kind of kidding about that one. I don't really know anything about Social Distortion, really.
I don't know them either. But
what would you like to know, gentlemen? What do you want to know?
Well, I said it before, but that song started at Brian O'Neill's in Houston, Texas, a club that no longer exists, thankfully. And a friend of ours had asked us to play the song and kind of told me how it went, and we played that song without hearing it. I don't know. Have you heard it before, Chad?
No. Was it Mike? Big Mike?
No.
No? Who was it?
Who was it, Mike? No. I know the guy's name. I can see him. I can't remember his name at the moment.
No.
Huh?
Joey, his friend?
No. No, it wasn't that dynamic duo. They still come and see us. They'll see us at Sherwood, and he's got nose ring, and she's got. Anyway, not important. But they told us about the song and said you should do it, and kind of told me how it went, and I played it without hearing it, believe it or not, and then I never changed it.
Yeah,
because when I heard it, it was a lot slower and there was a lot less to it. So yeah. I don't care for the song, but it's a nice break, believe it or not. It's one of those slower tempo songs that we do, so it's a nice break, and people can actually.
Yeah. Well, I started enjoying it more once we actually got the feel right. There was what we first started doing as a joke. We did it as a train way back. That kind of started in the original lineup. It kind of started the joke of playing everything as a train. It was around that time, I think. Remember that? Yeah. And then for a while we'd do the verses kind of straight, and then we'd do the choruses as a train. We'd kick with a double time.
Yeah.
But then around that time, I think Mike knew the song, so when he joined, we just kind of played it straight after that. And then you came up with that great guitar solo, which I told you, I think that guitar solo was totally wasted on that song. it needs to be put somewhere else. But then I heard the first time I actually heard the track, I was sitting at the long gone Mission Burrito now in Alabama, and it came over their sound system there, and I was like, oh, this is the original. And I got, because you do this thing at the last verse where you jump up, you start improvising the melody a little bit more, making it more intense at the end. And he doesn't do anything like that in the original. I was like, man, our version is much, much better. Maybe we should just put our recording of it out so I can stop complaining.
Patrick, do you know that you actually do play part of the Mike Ness guitar solo in your solo?
Oh, he does?
I did not know that.
So on the original version, at the end of the solo, he does the thing that you do before you go to the meat of your solo. Like when you start the guitar solo, you do that high kind of a thing, and then you go into that stuff. Yeah, that's actually on the original. Whether maybe subliminally you may have heard that song over the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden. But if you want to check it out, it is right. The Mike Ness version is right before he goes into the last verse. He plays that thing.
Yeah, that's and that's a standard. That's a standard, just rock and roll go to.
Well, for him too, yeah, it is. Yeah, he does it a couple of times in a couple of different songs, but
yeah. Like I said, I do not. I enjoy playing it. It's one of those few songs where you can kind of. Folks, if you're listening to this today, Tuesday, we on Sunday we played at Hawk Winery in Santa Fe. That's Texas, y'all. That's a vineyard down there, and with the one and only Jeff Duncan had a ball with him. But we've been three-piece now for quite a while, and as much as we enjoy three-piece, it's also a nice break. Like yesterday was, it was a high intensity show, I'd say. We pulled it back because we're in a vineyard, and the room is sonically it's a shiny cement floor with metal garage doors that pull down on each side, and then you got the high ceilings. It's not made for rock and roll bands, but our sound is we know how to work the board, and we do, so we're not too loud, and everybody in there could talk. But it was, so what I'm getting at is it had been a while since we had played with Jeff, and it's so nice to have him take the melodies. So a song like Ball and Chain is one of those things where you can still have a rockin' song. You can have a song that's got a lot of energy in it, but you don't have to be so intense to where you're playing at 100 miles an hour and having to, get those breaks just right. It's a nice flowing song, and it's a nice, like I say, slow mid tempo.
Twas,
yeah,
or tis, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. We also got very, very lucky because Allison and Laurie showed up, which we weren't expecting, and so we're going to have to go back to Revolution Printing and get some T-shirts because Laurie cleaned us out. Yep. She's just sold everything. She's brilliant, and we're really low on LPs now because she sold some yesterday, and. So it was just wonderful, gorgeous day. And as you can, it's today, Tuesday, is sunny again. And look at this, look at that. That's sunshine. We haven't had it.
It's so bright.
We haven't had it for, it feels like a year.
Seems like a long time.
Yeah. And, so we're just, Saturday, dreary, cold, wet, everything. And Sunday, as soon as we went to load in, boom, sunshine, and So it was just one of those days. It's just you wouldn't have believed it. And I believe that the place was busy, but I believe it would have been absolutely mobbed if we had had that day on Saturday, And then, but tonight we're going to be down at Drunken Monkeys in Galveston, y'all.
Yeah. If
you want to see a parade and you want to see, free parking. Great town, gorgeous weather. It's going to be, it's going to be mid 60s. And we're going to be at 7:00 starting. And I got an email and a text today from FedEx, so the board may be here today.
Oh, good.
Fingers crossed for that.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, legs uncrossed. That's how it works.
Ooh. I may need a minute, guys. Yeah. So, where were we?
So you saw two really kind of cool shows this past week.
Yeah.
Name one.
Name one.
Yeah.
Well, first off, on Wednesday, I had a Christmas present from the Buells. Tickets to see Bruce Dickinson. It was a spoken word tour he's doing, and extremely intimate. And it was at the it's not the Smart Finance. It was the
Stafford Center.
Stafford Center. Thank you. Just a nice little theater, and not a bad seat in the house. We were in the boxes up on the I guess stage right, and so very, very interesting, and and he's a great front man. He's a good storyteller, and I'd been looking forward to see it. Katie asked us on Sunday. Asked me. She said, "Did you get to ask your question?" I said, "No, did not," because I believe that they had the question cards and whatnot were early on, and of course Chris arrived right as it was time to go get seats. So we were, but still completely entertaining at 3 hours. Which
really,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a 20-minute break, but there was it's 3 minutes or 3 hours of, and he doesn't stop. And I liked it too because I was expecting heckling. We know this. Everybody wants to be heard at a show. If it's free word, if you've got no testicles, no life, no future, you're going to scream out something as original as that. But there was none of that. Everybody was really respectful, and one of the other things that people don't take into account when you're doing something like that is if you're gonna shout at you're gonna try to be on the just to try to make a spectacle of yourself. You don't take into account that there's a rhythm to this. There's a flow to the stories and to the anecdotes and whatever you're there's. This isn't just a thrown together,
It's not improv. He's actually got a script.
Thank you.
Kind of like the script.
Yeah. So when you shout something out, and then if it gets a laugh or it gets somebody upset or it gets you're just throwing a wrench in it, and it takes the wind out of the sails of the performer. And it's the same. That's the beauty of having. I keep pointing to the in-ears in case you think that they go in your nose or something. No, they go in your the beauty of in-ears too is it takes a lot of that out. I can still hear because our mics are, our gain is set high, so we can get a lot of the surrounding noise. But at the same time, it's really nice to eliminate. It's easier to bypass that stuff. So there was none of that, is what I'm saying. And then Saturday night. Friday or Saturday night?
SATURDAY.
Oh, it's Friday. That's right.
Friday night.
It doesn't work as well. So Friday went to see who's on your mug? Ghost. Went to see Ghost and Volbeat and Twin Temple at this time Stafford Center. No, Smart Financial Center. Thank you. I'm seeing if you're paying attention. And and I've seen Volbeat a few times. Always entertaining. Twin Temple, okay.
No, be honest.
Okay, I'll be honest. No.
I'll be honest.
I thought it was going to be good. I liked the instrumentation. I liked the thing, but I can't take flat singing. If I want flat singing, boy, I
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Chad, you gotta hear. I want you to go find the Twin Temple record on Apple Music or whatever, and just listen to it. And make sure that Patrick and I aren't lying about this.
So it's actually flat on the record too. It's not just live.
I heard the record and I was like, God, I think she's singing flat. And the more that she sang, and so yesterday in the van, I go, "You saw Twin Temple?" And Patrick said, "Yes." I go, "Did she sing flat?" And he said,
"More than." I mean, and enough to where I said, and I'm saying again now, enough to where I was saying maybe she's trying to bring that back, or maybe she's trying to feature this. Maybe she's trying to make something. I swear to God, because we talked about the Cranberry chick,
Kate,
Dolores
O'Riordan.
Yeah.
She was bringing. She was doing that. That it sounded like yodeling, but it was the worst. To quote a good friend of ours, Kent, he said, "Man, I spent my whole career trying not to do that, and she's making a fortune off it."
Right.
And I've said this many times before. When something's out of tune and out of key, and you're singing flat or singing sharp or singing, it hurts. I mean, it literally, it's. Just think of the dentist drill on the nerve as your. That's what it is. It's that harsh.
Yeah.
And it was kitschy enough, and it was too to me. There's Bruce Springsteen gets a pass. You can do, if you do a 15-minute song, and 14 of the minutes are whoa, hey, sing it. Bruce gets a pass. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, and has done whatever the fuck he wants. However, if half of your set, if you got a 40-minute set, and 30 of it is Hail Satan, Hail Babylon, fucking come on, your performers do heavy music. So that was, and again, they didn't do that, and we only saw this much of them. But then Volbeat did a great show, and Eric would have hated it. Eric's the other one in the hat here. Drummer, the most unenthusiastic, the most fucking lethargic looking, that just could not win. And he's been that every fucking time I've seen him. Backwards baseball cap, shorts, gloves, no fucking. I mean, just the drums sounded fantastic.
Yeah.
The guitar tones were immense. Bass could have come up a little bit for me, but they were on. They're on point. It's a well rehearsed band. However, now I'm going to go Ghost and Volbeat on this. I do not like the same joke, the same thing over and over and over again. And I've seen I think Volbeat 3 times, and every single time he does the Johnny Cash Elvis thing, and it's cool. He's got a great voice. I think he's a good songwriter. I think he's a great singer, great range. But man, it's on tape. It's on every set, and it's part of the. I do not like a scripted show. I understand the set list and where the songs go, and that's as far as the playing went, Volbeat did a great job. I don't like the scripted thing. Ghost, fan or not, you got to see the show. The pyro, the lights, the sound, and they have the choreographed stuff, which I was upset with myself that I had seen the latest show on YouTube. Just, I don't like this. You're in a new town. Obviously you got to get the town right, but you got to do something present day, this moment, for this crowd. You got to be in the. Was it a big crowd? Was it a good turnout? Yeah, mobbed. I had no idea. Again, I had no idea how big Volbeat were. I had no idea how big Ghost was, because
when I saw Ghost here, they played the House of Blues. They were opening up for Iron Maiden, and they had taken a couple weeks to kind of do their own little run. They played the Aztec Theater in San Antonio, which is kind of small, and they played the House of Blues here, which is not huge, but they've had some pretty big names in there.
Yeah,
and now of course they are headliners, right, and rightfully so. And and I know they have the big stage production and all that stuff. I wonder 2 things about what you just said, Patrick. One, the same thing might be for safety reasons, because there is a lot of pyro in that show. I know it's mostly behind them, but just to kind of know their marks and stuff like that. And then saying the same thing all the time. Like, did he say hello Texas, or did he say hello Houston?
Both.
Okay, cool. So at least he knows what town he's in, because I know that they played Dallas like a couple of days, the next day or the day after, something like that. So I wonder how much of that is just a safety thing as far as like the language thing, because like on the live record that I have, it's like, "Good evening, California," and then he says San Francisco a couple times, but
that stuff I don't mind. It's the jokes in between the songs are exactly the same, and if you don't have one, don't do it. Don't do the same one, the same, and or I mean, if it's a side splitter, I mean, if it's something that just, you just gotta, I do not like I don't ever want it to be a scripted.
Yeah. We talked about this before too. I think Tom Petty was kind of notorious for always having the same banter in between songs and stuff like that. Never really making anything up off the cuff.
I wonder if it's just like a comfort thing, or just like this will make this gig easier if I do this. The rest of the musically, it's probably challenging enough to do that every night, kind of a thing, But just
with Tom, it kind of confuses me, just because those guys are so good, and they, that band can take anything that he decides to throw at them, but obviously they didn't do that, at least in the later years. But they started off, like us, like all bands and bars and restaurants, playing for hours, multiple days a week for all different types of audiences and stuff like that. I find it hard to believe that he was doing that back then. Like, okay, guys, here's what I'm going to say between this song. When I say this, you play, there's got to be a reason why over time he decided, okay, I'm going to say this here, and next break I'm going to say this.
Yeah, but again, I just feel like you're listening to a record if you're out there, and again, the town and whatever you got between the. I mean, I'm so anal about the banter. Is I don't like when people take others, which everything's been used. There's nothing new. You cannot do anything new in between songs. But I don't like if Volbeat had come out and said "Scream for me, Houston," that's Bruce Dickinson's. He owns that. If you come out, Lemmy from Motorhead was "Say Yes," and now Volbeat, they use that now. I was like,
oh no,
yeah,
you can't do that.
You like rock and roll? Say yes, and yes, okay. And again, with Ghost, that was it's very, very original as far as their approach. However, they're not using the like Phil Lynott was. Are you out there? And that was the call and response.
Yeah,
thing,
I need your open hands.
Yeah, and then I know Hetfield for a time was using Phil's thing, but now he's, are you alive? I was like, shut up. I think it's the born again shit. It's
yeah.
But I mean, just take whatever you have at that moment and use it. I mean, yeah, if you use somebody else's, that's fine. But we talked about this too. Our music a lot of the time is ruined for us because when you hear a Twin Temple song and it's singing flat, a lot of people will not notice that. And we've seen it. We've seen it live. Friends of ours. We've gone to see the show and we're, at Chad and I go, is that, like, oh, that's flattened, but nobody notices, nobody, and I'll grimace, I'll notice, so yeah. Yeah.
But besides the fact that you don't like the banter, how was the show?
Just marvelous to the point where I said, are they playing, are they miming? I mean, are they, I know they got backing tracks for some stuff, but my God, note for note, pound for pound, there's just not a better production.
Those guys are good. Right now. I mean, when I saw them, I was like, because there's like a couple like double guitar things on certain songs, and when they pulled it off, I mean, you could tell that they were actually playing it, because I was that close enough. I was like, okay, that's really, and the drum thing is definitely happening, but I really like those guys. I think, like we talked about before, like the just on the records too, just the production, the way they construct songs, harmonies, and parts. It's kind of some of the best stuff out there. It doesn't matter what genre it is. I mean, just from a musical standpoint, it's actually super musical. It's catchy. It's well produced. I mean, it just all sounds good.
That's what I mentioned it to Jeff Duncan, who is also a bit of an audiophile and loves all kinds of music. But he had texted me on the way home, said, "Yeah," he goes, "I really like this stuff." He goes, "It's pretty dark, but it's good." And I said, but the production and the stage show and just our good friend June Narnia had said that the production, it was just a little bit too foo-foo for him, I guess. But she's going to give it another listen. But I just find these melodies so just not only captivating, but they're just the harmony and this construction of these things are just beyond what I was expecting. I really took notice of Ghost when they got the opening slot for Maiden. Because Maiden are, I would say, one of the most particular bands when it comes to, I think they started excuse me, that's wrong, but they really took to heart the relationship between their fans and the band. And because I remember Nico saying in an interview, Nick McBrain, the drummer, had said that one of the first tours that he was on with Maiden, and he had just given a bollocking to the front desk at the hotel and was taken aside by management afterwards, and they said, "You don't fucking do that. You don't fucking act, like a big shot. You're the fucking..." And then when you see Nico now, I mean, he's always been this rambunctious, boisterous, just bigger than life guy. And Bruce Dickinson does an incredible impersonation of him. They all impersonate each other really well, but it was side splitting. It was about a 5-minute story that he did in Nico, and the whole time he didn't come out of character when he did Nico, and it's just, and you couldn't tell Nico's voice from Bruce's at that point. It's just brilliant. Mm-hmm. But the relationship between the fans and the band is sacred. I forget who it was, but I've just heard these stories of we've all heard the stories of hey, can I get an autograph? Oh, fuck off. Just too big for you. This kind of shit. That's absolutely a no-no with bands like Maiden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was at the NAMM show a couple of years ago, I was at the Remo booth talking to a buddy of mine, and I turned around and Nico was talking to somebody in the booth, and he started to walk away to go somewhere else. I said, "Hey, can I get a quick picture?" He's like, "Absolutely." Took a picture. "Thanks, mate. Bye." Kind of a thing. So yeah, he definitely takes the time for the fans to get a picture or whatever. Super sweet, nice guy, happy guy.
Yeah. Bands that know where they came from and know who put them there, they're the ones that just, and I mean, look at them. They're still, they can't, their biggest bitch on tour is that they can't leave the hotels because their fans adore them. They put them above everything, anything, and there's a reason for it. The music speaks to them, but then when you're that close to them and you give everything,
and the fans are what created them, basically. No one was playing Iron Maiden on the radio back then, and the fans are what, and their fan base is fucking gigantic.
Legion,
and now if you find a metal station on the internet, they'll play Iron Maiden all the time, which is great. But the fans, just seeing, I remember being a kid and wherever you went, you saw an Iron Maiden patch on the back of a jean jacket or on the sleeve or something like that, at a metal show. And it doesn't matter what metal show you went to, there was always somebody, tons of people wearing Iron Maiden stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. So Ghost with the most. Check them out, people. They're fun.
Yeah, they really are. And I have to, I can't, I think Square Hammer right now is the one that I would just point you to if you wanted to hear something that's solid, sonically brilliant. And to me, it's one of those melodies that it keeps me up at night. And that's the highest praise I can give a song.
I told a friend about Ghost a while ago, and another drummer, and that was the first song he heard. He's like, "I'm hooked."
Yo, good.
Just from this one song, I'm already hooked. And Square Hammer is definitely a gateway drug to the rest of Ghost.
My daughter, my daughter would say Dance Macabre. That's her. That's the one that she's feasting on right now. And there's so many, but the ones that just the production, the layering of the harmonies of the vocals and mixed with the heavy backing. Just, it's the best stuff that I've heard out there right now. And I this time, a couple of months back, I would have told you I don't want to see any bands live. I don't want to go see a show. I mean, I really, just because I just don't know. Another thing that bothers me about going to see a show is when you're, when you're in the crowd, when people start singing, you're losing you're losing what's coming off the stage, and wasn't the case at this show. People were singing, but you couldn't hear them. It was fucking loud. It was to the point where, my two little brain cells were in there going.
Does Bruce, get back to Bruce, does he have a book out?
He has a book that was written a few years back called "What Does This Button Do?" And I didn't get it, and I'm looking at a stack of 4 that I've got to finish. But so we talked about he's a pilot, he's a beer meister, he's a author, DJ, just a podcaster too. He has a podcast that comes out on Tuesdays. I think he copied us. Bastard. Yeah, the book to me just seemed too all over the place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just with all the wonderful things that he's done and all his accomplishments and all his the book to me just seemed like it would be just a scattershot of subjects, and so if it was Maiden and something, or Maiden and maybe 2 things, but it just seems to me that would just be too much. So yeah, he definitely has a story to tell, and it's the show is worth going to see, because it's, like, fan or not, it's a great, it's a great tale, and he tells it well too. He's got as much energy telling his story as he does fronting Iron Maiden, which is arguably the biggest metal band of all time. Yeah. So,
speaking of shows, I think we have some shows coming up that are going to be really, really fun. That's a good segue, right?
It is.
Speaking of shows, fronting the greatest stout Irish rock band that ever lived. St. Patrick's Day month, people. It's Irish Pride Month, or whatever you called it yesterday or the other day.
Yeah.
That's every month, though, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've got
where to begin, Chad? Chad, tell us where we should begin with this.
Well, let's focus on the big shit first.
Love it.
On St. Patrick's Day in Houston, we're going to be at the Heights Theater, which is a renovated old movie theater, and it's on 19th Street in Houston in the Heights, which is, if you've never been, I'm kind of surprised at how many Houstonians I've met who are not familiar with 19th Street. It's just one of the coolest places in town, where you can literally spend a whole afternoon or a whole evening on a 2 or 3 block area. Because there's a bunch of different restaurants. There's a coffee shop. There's an ice cream shop. I think there's a record shop. There's, as Eric was saying, there's a hotel not too far from there. At least one.
So, yeah, it's on the other side, but yeah, it's on 20th, which is just when 20th becomes Cavalcade, it's right there.
So if you're coming
cool
to see
stores, cool everything over there. Yeah.
So if you're coming, doesn't matter if you're coming from somewhere else and a significant drive away. I mean, you could literally just make a whole day out of this trip. Stay the night. So it's definitely going to be well worth it.
Yeah, this the sound alone at Heights Theater is worth going, and we have Heidi Riggs coming in to spend the whole week with us, a week and beyond actually. So she's coming in from Phoenix, and we've played with her a couple of times. She's brilliant, and also friends of Eric's coming in from Austin to open the show, the Basil Trio, and that's going to be good. I heard their drummer is decent, but the band's great. Is that what I heard?
It's a vicious rumor to gyp the public, but yes.
And you played with them before, right?
Yeah, I played with him pretty regularly. And he was like, I want Clint. I go, do you need to play drums? He's like, I want Clint to play, his regular drummer, for 2 reasons. 1, because Clint's a great drummer, and 2, Clint plays Hendrix drums, which are actually based here in Houston. There's a drum company in Houston called Hendrix Drums. They make beautiful drums, and they're based here, and they make They make really, really pretty looking and beautiful sounding drums. But immediately after he sent that text, he writes back and says, I need you to play. I go, won't be a problem. It's going to be fun. I'll change outfits so they'll think it's a different drummer between sets. But the Heights Theater, it's a great theater. There's a balcony too with seats. They have a bar upstairs and downstairs. Mm-hmm. St. Patrick's Day, Blaggards at the Heights Theater. No green beer. No drunken assholes stepping on your toes and dropping a drink on you. No weird shenanigans, if you will. It's going to be a nice event for those that want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day in kind of a, for lack of a better term, a grown-up rock and roll atmosphere. Going to be great.
Yes.
Yeah, we're excited. We've never played there before, and also it's been just a joy working with these people. You know, they know what they're doing. Their marketing people have been great. We're asking our people if you would buy tickets in advance because they want to. We want to go back there. Buying tickets at the door is great too. However, it just helps us tremendously with our calendar and whatnot when you get your tickets in advance, because they're just going to be a lot quicker on booking us again. We're going to have a lot more. It's just it's going to it just benefits us. That's it. And just tell your friends and just send it out. It would help us tremendously. We really appreciate it. And also, I'm just excited. I'm very nervous because we haven't been in Houston for so many years for Paddy's Day, and it's just a nice thing for us to be here. And I'd kind of like to make a thing of it out. You know, we're still going to do College Station any and every chance that we get. However, just that, you know, the production and the just driving to and from, setting up, blah blah blah. You know, doing our own sound all day. It's fine, but. It's just really nice to go into a place with killer sound and Heidi has been in the woodshed, as they say, you know, just nonstop.
And speaking of killer sound, the night before that, we're going to be at Poor David's Pub in Dallas, where we played before with Heidi last year, and I'd heard all kinds of great things about this place for a long time. My mom was familiar with it because a lot of her friends go there. It's one of these just classic venues that. It is set up for nothing but music. You know, it was built for music, period. That's why it's there. That's why it exists. There's not a bad seat in the house. The stage is just open to the entire room. Terrific sound and just great people working there. And again, similarly with Heights Theater, get your tickets now. The sooner we sell these places out, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. But I'm really looking forward to this because I would like to make Poor David's a regular thing because we've never really had a home in Dallas.
Yeah, David Card, the owner of Poor David's, has been he's just been in the trenches. You know, he's been I mean, he was closed. I mean, he was closed down for for months again recently because their numbers jumped through the roof. But he's one of these guys, just kind of like a Dazzling Pete Gray. You know, he's just a guru of the music scene, and to have to put your heart and soul into a place like that, it shows when we show up, and it shows when people hear it. Yeah, the sound in that room was just killing. It was also Heidi's first gig, so it was it was just really nice that she was put at ease. Yeah, just knowing that the sound is good, it just makes you so much more comfortable when you know what you're playing is being sent out there versus that's not what I'm doing. That's a shit.
Yeah.
So
good people up there.
Yeah.
And it's a legendary room too.
Yeah.
I didn't make that clear. I mean, they've been around, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. And
long time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like pretty much every big Texas name you can think of is played there and beyond.
Big week coming up, people. Make sure you get your tickets. Tell your friends in Dallas. Tell your friends in Houston. Tell your friends in anywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Come see us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. If you're out and about tonight too, stop on down to Galveston. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
A loud time. And it's funny too, we spoke last week and probably the week before, we were talking about our dying board, our dying soundboard. Now that we have it rigged to now the real sound is coming out of it. We're getting all the sound out of these speakers. Greg, which we also need to thank Rochelle Fugate too for our new mugs. We got these beautiful. I don't have mine, but they're just new Blaggard tumblers. And go get it. Who's a good boy? Well, they left me alone. It's just,
I don't know where mine is.
Mine's in the kitchen. I'm just comfortable. There it is.
There you go.
There, look at that. And
Very
these
nice.
things are they're metal.
This fucking thing.
They're metal. These things are metal. Look at that. Yeah.
Metal, screw top.
Yes.
30 ounces, people. That's going to hold a lot of rum, Chad. Don't tell Patrick. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Sorry, Patrick.
I'm not paying attention. But yes, so Greg showed up yesterday with these, and
There you go.
Is it a good angle? It's working?
Yeah. So, but it was funny talking to Austin, Greg, and Sharon after the show. They said that the drinks were our subs now are actually getting power, so the drinks were rattling off the table at the vineyard on Sunday. So I was just very pleased to hear that, and I just got through telling you how we weren't loud, but the subs were doing their job, so you could feel that thump coming up from the floor, which is just a delight. So if we get this board today, we'll have it Drunken Monks. We're just going to be in a whole new world, boys and girls.
Yeah, it's going to sound great out there. The wooden stage and the patio and big open area. It's going to sound great.
And fingers crossed, we get a young Luba Dvorak to come twist some knobs, as they say in the porn world.
There we go.
Yeah.
But, who ran sound he runs sound at Continental Club, but we recruited him to run sound for us at the Arena Theater last summer when we played ahead of
38 Special.
38 Special, yeah. That was great fun.
Yeah. And Luba knew how to work the board, and the 38 Special sound engineer did not know how to work the board. So that's why it took so fucking long to make that sound check happen.
Mm-hmm.
Luba ran rings around those guys. They had a team. They had a team working the board. And, usually when you go to a setup like that, they'll say, well, you only get these 6 channels because the other band is using, 100 of them. They told Luba, they go, take whatever the fuck you want. These guys are fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And of course, Luba he's one of these guys, not only a just phenomenal musician, but he's one of these people that was just born to make everything sound good. So what I did, I'd hired him a few weeks back to come in to work, to look at our board, because I was having feedback issues with, in ears, which is just unheard of. It's heard of, trust me. But to have those, just to come in and just look through the board. And he came in and we didn't have the sound we had some sound, but we didn't have the band here, but eyeballed it. He's just able to look at the frequencies, adjust them, level everything out and set it. And when we came back, then when we'd figured out how to get all the sound back out of the board, our dying board, now there's just thunder coming out of there. We're just, he's just a wonderful, wonderful person to know. But when you have him on your team, it's quite exceptional.
Yeah.
And also just, one more thing before we go.
Yes.
We'll do a link to it, though. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the Whip Radio segment again. Yep. For Paddy's Day. We're going to do we did the, I don't know. Can we get that one from last year? Post it?
Yeah. I'll put it in the links.
Yeah, that was just a lot of fun. But we're going to see if we can get young ECH here to jump in this time. But anyway, so we're doing another segment for the Whip Radio and for Lonesome Larry and Laurie up there. And
I believe that's March 12th. They have it scheduled for.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of stuff, and then of course KPFT, who've been playing us for all these many thousands of years. And hopefully we'll get Rourke on Wide Open Spaces to do one as well. So, but so KPFT, 90.1 KPFT, right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Houston Radio?
Yeah.
That's not
FM.
FM, yeah. So, and they can all be heard online and stuff like that. So Irish Airs, plays weekly, and we'd love to see you at these shows. And thanks for listening. And
we'll see you next week.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Rev up.